Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We will call our workshop session to order. It's 5:30, Monday, August the 24th, 2026. And first order of discussion is discussion and update regarding Central Texas Water Alliance meeting held on August the 12th, 2026. Mr. Stephen Sewell.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Just wanted to provide y'all with an update regarding the latest Central Texas Water Alliance meeting. They're currently in phase 2, strategic planning and assessment. Right now they're assessing all membership data. Everyone that's a member, including Lampasas, provided long-range planning to the Water Alliance. They're currently trying to determine where that fits in their goals and how to align everybody to be on the same page. They've also developed a number of strategic regional incentives. Incentive number 1, they look to reserve a little over 66,000 acre feet per year from the Lake Whitney reallocation. Initiative number 2, they look to leverage unused water rights on Lake Belton for an ASR project. We talked about this briefly. They're looking to scalp the lake when it's discharging, take that water, deep well inject it, keep it in Central Texas, essentially keeping it from running all the way to the coast. Initiative number 3, evaluate and seek groundwater opportunities. Number 4, they look to develop regional raw reclaimed water systems for industrial parks in Waco, Robinson, and McGregor. And then initiative number 5 is to conduct a feasibility study on acquisition of key water infrastructure. To put it short, they just look to buy anything relating to infrastructure that they possibly can if it benefits the long-term goal of the Alliance. They did receive a report from the BRA. The Bell House line, the raw water line connecting Lake Belton to Stillhouse is currently in its 60% engineering design. There's still continuing easement acquisition, and there's a small typo on the next one. They look to begin construction of that line by end of year 2027, beginning of 2028. What this means for us is during the severe drought that we went through in the previous years, where Stillhouse was running almost on E, Lake Belton would continue to discharge into that, possibly keeping it full. I don't know to what extent. I don't know where the discharge of Lake Belton is going to be in terms of depth, but they're just simply looking to connect Lake Belton to Stillhouse. And as you know, Stillhouse and Georgetown are already connected. So it could potentially solve some surface water issues during drought conditions, which is of great news to Lampasas. The next section is relatively interesting. Coriel Hydropower reports that they were able to dig a test well somewhere in between cross-country between Gatesville and McGregor. And what they determined was a series of, tectonic fracture systems, if you will, kind of hiding a raw, untapped water source. The water is roughly 16,000 feet deep and about 300 degrees. So they look to the possibility of using geothermal power to actually treat the water in the long run. They pitched this to the Water Alliance. I don't see it taking traction because they're looking for a $5 million investment, and that's a pretty stiff pitch for not knowing exactly what the return is going to look like. They don't know how much water is really there. They know it's there, they know it's deep, they know it's hot, but in terms of capacity and how well it replenishes itself, it's a big unknown. So to ask for a $5 million investment that's a lot. So I don't know how that's going to play out, but if any more interesting information comes out of it, I'll let you guys know. More importantly, they're reviewing full membership status versus affiliate status. So they've got about approximately 5 board positions still left to fill. They've been on the hold of filling those positions for about 2 months now. And the reason they put them on hold is because they were trying to determine how to prioritize accepting these last remaining memberships, because they've only got so many seats to fill, and they've got more applicants than they do seats. When it comes down to it, they are trying to determine if we want to prioritize based on first come, first serve, or if we want to give preference to water purveyors that are also wholesalers. In theory, I believe they should keep doing it the way they initiated memberships in the beginning, is it was first come, first serve. They didn't give preference to purveyors / wholesalers. And mind you, had they given preference to wholesalers, Lampasas would not be in a membership status. Lampasas County wouldn't even be on the board because they're not a purveyor or a wholesaler. So I disagree with the logic, and likely I will vote so. Furthermore, the general manager approached me via email last week and wanted to know if the city of Lampasas would be interested in bumping down to an affiliate status versus a full membership status. I wanted to express that thought to you and tell you how much I disagree with it. It's not so much that we paid for a full membership. When they opened the door, we got a seat at the table simply because it was recommended that we have a seat at the table to determine what resources were going to be brought to Central Texas and how we could benefit from them. So if everyone's on board with it, I don't intend to vote in favor of Lampasas going to an affiliate position. And by affiliate position, I mean a membership position with no voting rights. So you're allowed to come to the table, you're allowed to speak, but really when it comes down to it, you're not allowed to vote. I think that would be a poor representation of the city of Lampasas to get a seat at the table yet not to vote.
And with that, we're still required to pay a fee to be a member of the
Currently, membership fee and affiliate fees are the same. Membership fees will likely go up next year, or affiliate fees will go down. But either way, there will be a fee difference from membership to affiliate going into the next year. But either way, I would consider it unwise to bump down to an affiliate status.
If they wanted, could they vote you down to affiliate, or since we're one of the original?
Right now, we were simply asked if we'd be willing to. It's not coming to a vote, and I will respond as such that we are unwilling to. Furthermore, I think in the upcoming years, if we stay a part of this, year 2, year 3, we may strongly want to consider what our role here is going to be. Do we want to continue being part of the alliance blindly? How does it benefit Lampasas? Can we help in any way? Those are all great questions. Their focus right now predominantly seems to be on that I-35 corridor. It seems to be McLennan and Bell County, and rightfully so. It's heavily populated. I don't see the Water Alliance benefit to Lampasas or Lampasas County. I'm not seeing it to this day, but it's also still too early to tell. And when that opportunity comes around the corner, if and when there's a project that does benefit Lampasas, are we seriously going to contemplate investing large capital dollars and bringing another water resource to Central Texas when, quite frankly, we've already secured ours? I ran some numbers this morning, and we have roughly 5,500 acre-feet with the BRA. We're currently using, on average, almost 1,700 acre-feet a year. We're not using half of the capacity that we currently have. Granted, that capacity can go through drought stages, which hopefully the Bell House line would solve some of those issues. They're looking at doing aquifer storage and recovery, taking water from somewhere else, putting it here. We could do the same thing with Sulphur Creek if we really wanted to. We have 3,900 acre-feet on Sulphur Creek. If we wanted to do an ASR project with that to keep it here in the drought months, we could also do that as well. So my point in relaying all this information over to you is I don't know that the Water Alliance is going to be the great big fix for the city of Lampasas. I think our predecessors that met and secured our water availability agreements with the BRA and secured these water rights with the state of Texas, I believe to some degree it's already been secured. There's no point in developing another resource. We just need to invest in what we have to get it to where we want to be for the next 20 to 30 years. But that being so, it may be unwise to separate ourselves from the alliance at this time. We may want to see how this is going to pan out. Membership dues are roughly only $5,000 a year right now. They may go up. You could look at that as a wise investment to see where it's headed, or you could look at that as a burden that we don't need to pay for anymore. It's really up to you guys. My state on this is we stay in a full membership status. We don't bump down to affiliate. I think it would be wise to hang on for the next, at least one more year to see where it takes us. And at some point, we're going to have to determine if we want to stay on it in the long term or give our seat to someone that is actually going to benefit from the Water Alliance. So all good decisions to be had.
Stephen, what other entities or organizations are looking at the affiliate status?
I only know of one. They didn't relay them all off. I only know of one because, well, I know the company. So the Central Texas Water Supply Corporation is one of the members knocking on the door. That is why I believe they're asking us to step down to an affiliate status, is because our wholesaler is actually asking for a full membership. And if it was a traditional relationship, I would say that's not a bad decision to make if they're equally representing us. But as we all know, we're not entirely sure Central Texas is equally representing us, so why would we want to step down at this time? Just my opinion. But then there's a handful of others. I don't know who they all are. Any other questions? Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. number 3, discussion regarding the comprehensive fund balance policy.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. You have on the agenda later this evening a possible change to our fund balance policy. Our fund balance policy hasn't been updated since 2013, and there are a couple of items that I would like to propose to change. Currently, the policy is written that we'll observe a 35% fund balance in the general fund, electric fund, and water fund, and anything in excess of the 35% will be made available for capital purchases. That's also written in such a way that the 35% number is applied to the most recently completed audited fiscal year. So the reserves necessary for this year going into next budget year are based on our operating numbers from FY25. So we're running, it's not necessarily applying that reserve balance to our current operating expenditures. So I would like to update that to bring it to the current fiscal year or the next fiscal year when we're presenting this sheet during budget. Additionally, I would like to propose that we look at changing the percentage, the 35%, to a number of operating days. We have this reserve policy in case there were a major emergency within the city. The city could keep operating if there weren't any revenues coming into the city. The likelihood that that lasts for 4+ months is quite unlikely without us receiving some additional assistance. So what I've proposed in this fund balance policy is 90 days for the general fund, 3 months of operating, 120 days for the electric fund. You could recommend higher, but as the city doesn't own its own substations, if we're not on the hook if one of those large transformers go out, so it's not as expensive to replace those. And then also 120 days in the water fund. So it's not that far off percentage-wise, other than in the general fund, it would drop from 35% to about 25%, but it still maintains a consistent fund balance for operations in case of an emergency. Monica, if you could go to page 69 of the packet. The existing policy is also written that in the order of reserves spent, you would spend your most restricted funds first and your least restricted funds last. And I think that's kind of counterintuitive, because if you've restricted funds for a particular purpose, that means you've been saving up for that purpose. And you would think that you would spend the free available dollars before you would spend the more restricted funds. It also, the proposed policy implements mandatory reporting, so twice a year, council would get an update on fund balance and fund balance projections. And it also establishes a timeline for if a fund is below the recommended fund balance, what steps are we taking within 2 years to get that fund to our reserve policy. So page 69 is basically our existing policy, except I did apply the 35% to the upcoming fiscal year rather than FY25 to give you an apples to apples comparison. So with current reserves or fund balance, the general fund is currently at 31.26%, or $519,000 shy of that 35% reserve fund goal. You can scroll down a little bit, Monica. You'll see that the electric fund is at 51.19% with $2.12 million in excess above the 35%. And then the water fund is at 29.92%, which is $277,000 shy of the 35% fund balance required in our policy. If you scroll to the next page, which is the proposed policy, and you apply the number of days that I've proposed versus the percentage method, you'll see that that flips the general fund to whole. What we would have in reserves estimated at the end of FY27 is 114 operating days, so 919,000 excess in reserves in the general fund. The electric fund would be at 187 days, 2.4 million excess. And the water fund is still tracking a little low, but about $110,000 less than the 35%. I think what this might show you is, we're here to be stewards of our taxpayer and our utility payers' money. And I understand being conservative and really building up a fund balance, but at some point, there's a balance between being good stewards and not responsibly spending our taxpayers' money when we have some funds that have so much excess in reserve, whether you're looking at the 35% or the 120 days. So that's the basis of my recommendation for changes for the fund balance policy. Of course, it's certainly up for questions and conversation.
Does this play into financial auditing purposes at all, or do they look at both when they're doing an outside audit?
They'll look at our adopted policy.
It seems that this is looking at number of days versus percentage is a pretty common governmental standard.
You'll find it both ways, honestly.
I've run into number of days more often, I guess.
Sure.
Any other questions?
I'd be on board for it. It seemed like the proper thing to do at this time in the world we're living in. I think that would be a good avenue for us.
I do, kind of as a caveat to this, at our last meeting, I said that I wouldn't recommend decreasing our electric rate at this time, but I do think, given this information that we're looking at now, that we have room to do that.
Appreciate your hard work
Thank you.
putting this together.
And how soon could we reduce the electric rate?
We'll adopt it with our fee schedule to take effect October 1.
Okay.
Did you have a question?
No, I was just going to make a comment. I'm in agreement that we're stewards with the taxpayers' money, and I don't think the government should ever feel like they can spend our citizens' money better than they can. So there's no reason to hold on to that much cash if we don't have to.
If we go to the number of days, is that an ongoing analysis and review of the finance department?
So I'll do this twice a year. We'll do it in March when we're beginning our budgeting process internally, and then there will be one in your budget book that you receive later that summer.
Okay.
So we'll report to you twice a year on fund balance.
Thank you.
Now this, what's in excess can only be used for capital improvements, or how does that work?
It is recommended that it's used for one-time capital improvements, and that is in the policy. Obviously, if you're drawing down on fund balance to support the cost of recurring expenditures, so personnel, for example, those costs don't go away, but the reserves eventually will.
Yeah.
So it's recommended that it's used for capital projects rather than ongoing expenditures.
So water capital improvement projects can be included in that.
Yes.
Thank you.
Anything else? Thank you, Ms. Harrison. Discussion regarding any item on regular session for August 24th, 2026. No action to be taken during workshop session.
I have an item I wanted to just mention. In the department reports that are in our packet, there's a really incredible report from the library department, from our library, the kind of work that they've done, both the staff, the director, and the board, on improving and reaching out to our citizens with different kinds of services and different kinds of programs to be important to our people in our community. I just think that is something that's commendable, and we don't often tell our people thank you. And I just like to hear that from all of us once in a while, and this is one of those times.
Anything else? Number 5, discussion regarding any items not included on the regular session for August 24th, 2026 for consideration on the future agenda. No action can be taken by the city council. And there is none. And can I get a motion to adjourn workshop?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? And that will move us into our regular session. We'll call to order. All rise.
Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we couldn't be more grateful to be in this great community of Lampasas tonight. We're in this great facility amongst good people. We ask that you be with us, be with our council, be with our citizens, help us to make some good decisions, exchange some good information. And until you can meet again, we ask that you be us in safety. And as always, we pray in Jesus' name, amen.
Tonight we have a special group of folks here with us tonight. It's a tough one for me, and as well as it is for, I can't even imagine what Adrian has been through in the last several months with the loss of Adela. And I felt like I wanted to say thank you, Adrian, to you and your team for what you had contributed to our community. Most importantly, what Adela has contributed into our community. We probably don't know how many taxpayer or taxes that your group has paid into this city. And got Mr. Finney, he's got a couple of comments tonight. He's from our Economic Development Director.
On behalf of the Economic Development Corporation, I, along with the other members of the EDC board, would like to express our genuine appreciation for your continued commitment to Lampasas and its economic growth. Your businesses make meaningful impact on our local economy and provided jobs for many people. We are grateful for your role in fostering a thriving business environment and for being an important member of our community. We would also like to extend our heartfelt condolences for your family for the loss of Adela and Angel.
And this evening, I'm taking the opportunity to offer the council and my personal heartfelt condolences to Adrian and his 3 children and his entire extended family and his team that's with him here tonight concerning the recent ultimate death of Adrian's wife, Adela Villa, and their 14-year-old son, Adrian Frias, on February the 28th, March 1st, when the car they were in was struck by another driver. As most people know, in town, Adrian and Adela started working in the restaurant business in Lampasas many, many years ago. Over the years, through extremely demanding work, they have become successful owners and operators of 2 very well-loved, busy restaurants in Lampasas, Giovanni's and El Frias. For decades, Adrian and Adela have also been active citizens and participants in the Lampasas community, as well as staying involved with their children, lives, education, activity, including Adrian Jr.'s involvement in soccer. The Frias family are notable examples of the optimistic, industrious, enterprise spirit that has played a critical role in the ongoing economic growth of our community. We, the council, city staff, we want to express to you guys our heartfelt appreciation for the hard work and dedication to the success that Adrian and Adela and their family, including Adrian Jr., have given over the years to help build and feed the city. Only a few citizens have achieved the position of respect and high esteem that Adrian and Adela have in the city because of their business acumen, diligence, and extraordinary work ethic. Adela and Adrian Jr.'s absence will be felt in Lampasas forever. Finally, I personally want to be sure Adrian knows that I personally stand behind him and mourn deeply with him now. And I think our council would express the same thing in the darkest of times. And I know that God's with you guys. I've seen him work, and it's been miraculously that you guys are here today. And today, on behalf of the city and the city council, Adrian, I want you to come forth. I want to present you the keys of the city. Adrian, if you guys want to leave now, or you can certainly are welcome to stay for the whole city council meeting. May get a little boring after that. Thank you guys. We love you. All right, that'll take us to our public hearing citizens comment. We have a 3-minute time limit. Citizens comment, any citizen who desires to address the city council on a matter not included on this agenda may do so at this time. For possible posting and discussion by city council on future agenda, the city council may not deliberate on items presented up underneath this agenda item, and we have none. 1.2, any citizen who desires to address the city council on a matter that is included on the agenda may do so at this time, and we have none. Consent agenda, discussion and possible action regarding the approval of minutes on the regular meeting held on August 10th, 2026.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Boards and department report.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I don't see it. I can go by memory, but I don't think it'll work out well. There it is. A week. Stand by. Got it. All right. So department overview, we have a full-time staff of 15 personnel. 12 of those are operations, 3 of them administration. That's the fire chief, the assistant chief, and the fire marshal. We have a part-time staff of 7. Those are utilized as needed. When we have a vacancy, if somebody takes off vacation, calls in sick, we fill that seat with a part-timer if they're available. Our shift schedules are 48-96, so 48 on, 96 off. On each shift, we have a captain, a driver, and 2 firefighters. Our facilities, we have 1 fire station that we share with the volunteer fire department, and then we have the administration office. We have 2 engines, a 2023 and a 2011. We have 1 ladder truck that's a 2001. We have a brush truck that's a 2004. My vehicle is a 2023. The assistant chief vehicle is a 2012. Fire marshal's is a 2011. And then we have a support vehicle that we use to pull our little trailer around. It's a 2005. And then we also have a 2006 Polaris Ranger that we use for different things. So our operations division, we cover fires, EMS, accidents, swift water rescue calls, and everything in between. We also provide mutual aid assistance to Lampasas County, all the way into Burnett County as well. Fire Marshal's office, he's responsible for all annual fire inspections in the city, fire investigations in the city and in the county. We have an agreement with Lampasas County and also with the city of Lomita that he provides fire investigations for. He is in charge of all the public education programs, smoke detector install program, extinguisher classes throughout the city. We do a lot of them with assisted living, a lot of your elderly facilities. He schedules all those classes, and he's also in charge of all the school fire safety programs. He does a lot. This year, we're up. We ran 1,798 calls. We're up 12.82% from last year. Of those calls, EMS, rescue, motor vehicle collisions was 1,426. 372 of those were fire-related calls. 331, which is 18.4% of those, were overlapping, which meant we were on a call when we got called to another one. Some of those were even 3 calls back to back. Our city, we broke it into 4 geographic zones. Northwest, southwest, northeast, and southeast. You can see there the northwest is at 21%, southwest 24%, northeast. Our busiest parts of the city are in the southeast. We ran 48 calls in Lampasas County, which is about 2.5%, and we ran 3 calls in Burnett County this year. Training and professional development this year, we currently have 6 members enrolled in the aerial operator certification course. The assistant chief attended year 1 of the Texas Fire Chiefs Academy. We had 2 members attend the Fire Marshals Conference. We have 4 members that obtained Swiftwater Rescue Technician certification in Tarrant County College, which almost brings our department up to 100% Swiftwater certified. We have one member that attended boat operations with the Texas Parks and Wildlife Division, and 100% of our department obtained wildland firefighting certifications this year. And one member just obtained his fire and life safety educator certification. In addition to that, we've logged over 2,030 additional training hours for all full-time personnel. This year, we were able to replace the outdated SCBA fill station. We thank you very much for that. I've got it on order. We were able to purchase a used rescue raft to aid in swiftwater rescue incidents. The hydrant maintenance program is fully operational. What that is we're at about 90% of the fire hydrants in the city have been touched by our guys this year. They've been flowed, they've been greased. A lot of them have been painted. We ran out of paint, but for next budget year, we're gonna get right back on it. But that just assures us that those fire hydrants are gonna work when we need them. And it gives y'all peace of mind knowing that we've done it. We were able to promote an assistant chief internally this year. We started an automatic aid agreement with Lampasas Volunteer Fire Department, which allows them, as soon as we're toned to a house fire, they automatically get toned so that we're not waiting for additional personnel. Same goes for them. We're going to send somebody to help them. And we've had 2 members this year achieve Master Firefighter certification. That is a picture of the airfill station that y'all allowed us to purchase. Hopefully it'll be in soon. And that is the rescue raft that we were able to obtain. Some of the challenges that we're facing, right now our overtime budget is pretty extensive because of our minimum staffing. Our minimum staffing is for anytime somebody takes off, we have to fill that seat. We have state mandated laws that require us to have a certain amount of staffing. Our apparatus, our ladder truck is 25 years old, our brush truck is 22 years old, and they've reached their end of service life by national standards. We've also got 2 staff vehicles that are at the end of their service life. Facilities, we have some station upgrades needed for growth and safety improvements. And then we have a continued need for specialized rescue and leadership training. Goals for 26, 27. Again, like last year, I'd like to try and seek funding for a swiftwater rescue boat. We were very fortunate this year. We didn't have as many flood calls as we did the year prior. We're going to continue community risk reduction programs in schools and neighborhoods. The fire marshal is doing a great job with that. Replace aging apparatus and upgrade firefighting equipment. That's kind of at the top of the list. And expand training partnerships with surrounding departments. We're currently working on that where we can utilize some of the fire training facilities in our neighboring departments. And that's it. Do you have any questions for me? All right.
On the one question on the Swiftwater rescue boat, SICCOG or LCRA, do they offer any kind of grant, any assistance to help us obtain that?
There are grants out there, and we have applied for a couple of the grants, and we're unsuccessful. Boats isn't a top priority on a grant for a lot of people that give the grants.
Is there a life on a boat as well as far as a national standard, 10-year, 15-year? Yeah, or is it the actual equipment, as long as it's held up to standards?
On a boat, as long as it's held up to standards, they don't get used near as often as a fire truck does. So they tend to last a lot longer.
A couple of things. You had mentioned overtime for staff. Are you saying you need more people to kind of bring down the overtime, or what is that?
Yes. So right now we have a minimum of 4 that we have to keep. State law requires us to have a 2 in, 2 out rule, which means if 2 people's in a house, 2 people have to be outside. In order to maintain that, we have to have 4-man staffing on the engine. If somebody takes off vacation or calls in sick or is out on an extended leave for injury, we try to fill that position with a part-timer. Unfortunately, all those part-timers have full-time jobs somewhere else. They work at another fire department somewhere. And so trying to get them to fill those slots is, we do our best, but if we can't, we have to fill it with a full-time personnel.
Did we do that at one time with volunteer firefighters?
So since I've came on board here, they were in the middle of a separation when I got here. So now it is two separate entities. So we share the same house, but we're two separate entities.
Okay.
What did you spend last year in overtime?
Last year was 172,000, and this year we're at 100. We're at 180.
So you're asking for saying that you need one additional person per shift. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
What would that cost?
And base salary, roughly 55,000 a year. That's a little high, plus benefits. So you're looking at 75,000 a year times 3. Plus you'll still have overtime. It's inherent in the schedule that they work. They'll receive overtime hours for each.
You're still back up to 230, 240.
Well, it'll decrease your actual overtime line item, but it'll increase your. So it's.
Gotcha. Okay.
I could probably reduce the overtime by about, with what we're on track this year, probably about 80,000.
We reduce it by 80,000.
I could probably come close to reducing it by 80,000.
3.
We have 3 shifts.
3 full-time positions would reduce it by 80,000.
About 80,000, the overtime budget.
But it will increase your personnel costs
Over
by 225.
225.
I have a question about this ladder truck, because I know, haven't we started setting money aside and trying to look at a new ladder truck for something in a ladder?
We talked about it.
It's been discussed, 2 years ago. And we actually spec'd one out and got a price. A year and a half ago, it was right at 2.3. That same ladder truck, I just spoke with them last week. That same ladder truck is 2.7 now.
Sure, there's a cheaper ladder truck.
6 to 10% a year is what they typically go up.
What if we got a new ladder truck? What would we do with the current ladder truck?
My recommendation would be to keep that ladder truck as a reserve. It's paid for. Keep it as a reserve. It would lower our ISO rating by having a reserve ladder. And the engine that we currently have in reserve, the 2011, I cringe every time they drive it out of the station because something breaks on it. The ladder truck is more reliable than the 2011 engine we have, and we have to have a reserve. Our brand new engine was out of service for about a month and a half this year due to, it went in for a PM. While it was in the shop, they messed it up, and they ended up having to send it to San Antonio to get it repaired on their dime. But it was a month and a half before we got it back. Luckily the ladder truck was here, we had it. We were in the ladder truck for the majority of that month and a half.
So just out of curiosity, let's say you end up having to sell the ladder truck, the old engine is like not usable. And that same situation happened. Wouldn't they have to provide some kind of replacement vehicle while they're fixing it? Because they're the ones that screwed it up?
No, they're not obligated to. Unfortunately, it's, now there is a shop in Killeen that does repairs, which is Siddons Martin, which is who we spec the new ladder truck with, because they have a shop in Killeen, a very impressive shop in Killeen. They do have a loaner program, but currently we bought our truck through Metro, and they do not have a loaner program.
What would be a good estimate, and just, I I know it's hard to say the percentage of time that you use the ladder truck on these calls here.
So, good question. I would use it on every call, on every fire call if we could. We just don't have the personnel to do it. If I was able to hire an additional person per shift, that would be 5 per shift. I would put 3 on an engine and 3 on a ladder truck, which would guarantee that that ladder truck was going to show up to a house fire every time. Right now, we're just running 1 engine out of that station. If we get a house fire, we rely on personnel coming back to get the ladder truck to bring to the call.
So you currently have 5 on the shift?
4.
So
What?
If you added 1, how would you put 3 and 3 on?
I would put 3 and 2.
Okay.
So 3 on an engine, which would be the primary response because it's a smaller vehicle, less maintenance than the ladder truck. I would put 2 on the ladder truck, guaranteeing that ladder truck. And it also helps with the overlapping calls. If that engine is on a call and they get toned out for another one, the ladder would respond immediately. Right now, we may or may not be able to respond depending on the call that we're on. It would also, a 5th person would also allow, if somebody took off, it wouldn't require overtime. We would try and get a part-timer to fill that position. If we couldn't, then we would run with 4.
And so the things that you were going through, Chief, talking north of 3 million, 3.5, something like that, everything that you need, what's the steps to, like, what's the most important? What's your plan on trying to fulfill these needs?
Good question. We need money.
I get that, but I mean, what's the strategic plan to try to do that?
I had the strategic plan on paper, starting with the ladder truck. But that was for ordering it in 2025. So we moved it to 2026, and now it will move to 27, and it will keep moving out. Everything in front of it is going to continue to move out as well. But at some point, the equipment is going to fail. Right. We have a brush truck that, I'm willing now to switch the brush truck and the ladder truck because the brush truck has given us such fits. We're piecing it together.
How expensive is a brush truck?
About $350,000.
It's a lot more.
Substantially cheaper than a ladder truck.
And used a lot more often without fires?
With the staffing that we have currently, yes, ma'am. It's used a lot more frequent than the ladder truck is.
And I may have missed it, Chief, but for transparency, how many structure fires in the city have we had this last year?
I do not have that report in front of me, but I can get it to you and I will email it to the council.
Any other questions? Thank you, Chief.
All right, thank y'all.
Three point two, upcoming special events, meetings, possible discussion by council. August 25th, 2026 at 5:30, we have our charter review committee. September the 3rd, 2026 at 6 p.m., planning and zoning. September the 14th, 2026 at 5:30, we'll be back in the City Hall Chamber Council. 4.1, discussion possible action regarding the first reading of an ordinance amending the Lampasas Code of Ordinance number 1762 regarding zoning regulations pertaining to smoke and tobacco shops.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This item was discussed during workshop of the August 10th meeting to change the ordinance, the existing ordinance, from 300 feet to 1,000 feet.
I still think it's over policing by the government on private business, but
Yeah,
that's just my thought.
I agree with that. It's just an ineffective use of local government. This is a parental control, parental responsibility issue, and it's also inconsistent with other distances for the liquor store, for instance, that is at 300 feet. So I'm very much opposed to this change.
And y'all know where I stand on it.
No, I don't, because signage doesn't do it.
700 feet will prevent kids from obtaining them.
No, I mean, anybody's gonna do what they wanna do. I mean, realistically. If you wanna do something, you're gonna find a way to do it. But I just feel like, I personally don't want to see that in our town that close to our schools. That's my own opinion.
That's exactly what a overstepping of a government entity is doing. You're saying personally, you just don't want to see that.
Well, I feel like part of our responsibility as city council is to take what the community believes that we want the city to be, and I don't think it's overstepping. Because it's not just me, I've had many people concerned about it. They don't wanna see that close to the schools.
Where are they?
What do you mean, where are they?
Right here.
People.
I'm sitting right here on the front row on his phone.
I believe that this is basically a misuse of local government function. It's an issue for children's parents. It's an issue for those who might be addicted to some substance. Generally, the smoke shop ordinance talks about more than just vaping. It is much more broad-based, and this is just an overreach. It's just not necessary, and it's really not effective.
Should we get rid of the 300 feet?
I mean, I don't think like restricting advertising on there really does much either way. But, it's the third time that it's come up. I just don't know why we keep on talking about it. I mean, 300 feet's fine, but.
Well, that's because it was approved before this council, like literally right before this council. And then we have a different council and it's brought back up.
I was just curious if 300 feet is overstepping.
I mean, because just as a example, we had a shop in town right next to Storms put up signs. How soon did everybody get a text, phone call saying, I thought we weren't doing this?
They're almost immediately.
Right. So if you're looking for a reason not to, that's the reason. At least with me. I had several people text and say, no, we already have them in town. That's another point. We already have them in here. So it's just a personal preference. Either you want to encourage more smoke shops, and as you know, Eric, and as you know, not everything they sell out there is legal. They're waiting for the law to catch up, so it's proprietary illegal, but until that happens, they're going to continue selling it. And they don't care who they sell it.
But I guess the spirit or the intent behind that kind of ordinance would be to keep it out of the hands of like kids. Is that what we're saying?
I don't like marijuana would be the spirit of the law, but we know people who have.
No, but we're talking. I mean, I'm specifically asking: is this about kids, like Councilwoman Keeney's talking about not having them in the high school, or is it trying to regulate morality for adults?
Oh no, I'm not regulating morale. I'm saying access to illegal substances.
But I mean,
alcohol is legal.
The question is whether this is the right way to attack that issue. And I don't think this is.
I just don't think it's a matter of encouraging versus attack. I think we're encouraging versus attack. Everyone has their opinion. We've gone back and forth, so we can vote and then just move on and then it'll be said. So it's however everybody votes, and then we can just live with it and move on. That's why I look. I mean, I didn't.
And that was part of my issue with it, is because before Councilman Morris came on, it was passed, and then when Councilman Morris came on, the vote swung the other way and it was denied. So it just.
I didn't put it on the agenda.
I just didn't feel like we had a good consensus, which is why I wanted to bring this back and make sure that we were doing what the council felt was necessary.
I don't know how I got back on that second time. I got on council. I didn't ask for it to put on there. I just was here. But also, I think Chief Cummins, hadn't there been a few times that the PD has stepped in when there's been issues with local shops, if there was a question of if there was illegal substances being sold out of there, where local PD went in to make sure that shops were in compliance?
Sure, a few times over a handful of years, not very often. We will get a complaint or someone will
Yes, sir. And that's more in line with the duties of law enforcement, though, is regulating the laws of the state of Texas, right?
I mean, I get both of y'all's sides on this. I'm trying to figure out what I think, but my question
It'd be different if
is
there was
300
no
feet
smoke shops.
overstepping. Is 300 feet overstepping, or do we need to do away with that as well?
So what is it? What did it say statewide?
Statewide is for signage only, and
Oh,
it's
okay.
1,000 feet within a school.
I mean, I guess going along with my mentality, and then it'd be 300 would be too much too. But and this is going back to an ex-smoker. I think vapes are real lame too. I'm just looking at it as being. I just don't like the government meddling with private business. I mean, that's it. I'm against. Clearly, I don't want kids having that.
Well, yeah, and that's part of the problem too, is because the vapes that they get a hold of are felony level vapes. And so advertising it, making it more, socially acceptable to a kid's head, that's where I'm coming from.
But they're not. I don't know if signs in town are doing that as much as like these things. The advertising is.
Well, it's kind of both. I mean,
And how does that relate to the distance of a building to
how
another
it relates
building?
to the distance of the building is the kids can just walk right by it and see it and drive by it every single solitary
Well,
day.
we also have liquor stores that have advertising that is available. So and that one is 300 feet.
But the kids aren't, liquor is not as much of an issue at the high school campus as
What?
the vapes.
What are you talking about?
Not as much. It is, but not as much. They're not doing it, they're not.
Alcohol's been in high school since all of us been in school. Like, and I mean, and also like again, like signage in town compared to what's online in the phones and on TV, like it's. I don't know.
I'm just
I
curious.
don't agree with it. I'm just very much against the government stepping in private business.
Is this only for smoke shops? Because gas stations sell these things as well. I mean, right?
It's a specific percentage of sales that are spent on vapes specifically,
Okay.
or tobacco products.
Man, you go into Casey's and get that 2 for $6 slices, but you see ads for vapes as soon as you walk in.
It's a percentage of their total sales.
We're still not getting rid of vapes even within the 300 feet rule.
I guess I would like to see us call the question.
How would a vape shop advertise? What kind of signage would they be allowed to put up? They can't say vape or anything in their name. Or,
E-cigs, it relates to, it limits cartoon characters that would target kids. Like, you have to be very, very restrictive with
Pictures of like pop leaves and stuff. Is that?
Right.
so certain caricatures.
Yeah, they're not allowed to use signage that would be appealing to children within 1,000 feet of a school.
But it could say such and such vape shop. Okay.
All right. Do we get a motion one way or the other? This is for the last time?
All right, for the last time to get it done, I would like to consider a motion to approve the 1,000 feet.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nay.
Is there a
Nay.
nay?
Mayor,
Nay.
thank you.
All right. 4.2, discussion and possible action to declare unusable city-owned IT equipment as surplus and allow staff to dispose of as state law allows.
Mayor and City Council, staff is requesting the approval to dispose of city-owned unusable IT equipment that was used at various departments. Equipment includes desktop PCs, monitors, switches, laptops, wireless access points, toner, UPS battery backups, tablets, cell phones, air cards, and printers. The IT equipment that staff is requesting to dispose of is either end of life, no longer supported, broken, or has been replaced. Staff has removed all the parts that could serve a purpose to the city off of the equipment, and the serial numbers of the equipment to be disposed of will be kept for records retention. Additionally, all hard drives have been removed or wiped containing city data. Staff is just requesting a motion to declare unusable IT equipment as surplus and allow staff to dispose of as state law allows.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Thank you.
4.3, discussion and possible action on a 5-year sponsorship agreement for beverage rights between the city of Lampasas and Coca-Cola.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem and Council. Sorry for that noise. You have before you a beverage agreement between the City of Lampasas and Coca-Cola. As you know, Coca-Cola is an international company. For this contract specifically, we are going to be dealing out of the Dallas office for this contract. They have multiple offices throughout the country, and Dallas is going to be the closest one to us, so this will be who specifically we go under contract with, but we will receive all the rights and benefits of any national partner. With this, it's difficult to put a dollar amount on this contract because there's a lot of commission-based and rebate-based monies that could come to the city, but we are also going to have guaranteed monies from day one of this contract. With this contract, we will receive at minimum $12,000 per calendar year. That will be through merchandise. That merchandise could be umbrellas, it could be picnic tables, it could be menu boards, any number of maybe digital TVs to show menus at concession stands, for example. And then $8,000 of those dollars per year will be loose funds for us to use whatever we would like. But then on top of that, they are going to provide both drink coolers, which are the sliding glass coolers that you may see at the golf course or at the pool, as well as about a dozen vending machines for the city at no cost. The Coca-Cola will own those vending machines, and they will give them to us for the length of our contract to sell their merchandise out of, and that does not factor into that merchandise money that we will receive each year. With that as well, any vending sales, we're going to receive from drink number one a 15% commission off of each one of those drinks. If you go to the appendices in the very back of the contract, it's going to show you the drink breakdown, the cost that they will be put in the vending machine at, and the 15% commission on each one of those. Additionally, in your contract, you're going to see drink sales that we purchase for the city for redistribution or to consume as city staff ourselves. The biggest one is going to be we will receive a $5 rebate on every single case of water, soda, or there are a couple other different beverage items in that $5 per case rebate, as well as there's another threshold of $2 rebates per case. We also have an incentive on here for large quantity case thresholds at $2,000 and then an additional $5,000 if we do hit those thresholds. One of the good things about this contract is that we are not going to be paying for any signage out of our pocket because there is no signage that will be going on baseball fields, soccer fields, aquatics facilities. It's strictly going to be based off of those vending machines, those coolers, and menu boards. So they're going to be the three main products we receive. If you have any questions, I think that pretty much covers all of the financials of it.
Did y'all, so on this, who negotiated this? Did Coca-Cola come to you? Is this coming through that company out of Iowa?
This is a Sportsman Solutions contract. Anytime we receive a check from Coca-Cola, we are going to, within 30 days, give 25% of that to Sportsman Solutions.
And then how does that work with the
Yes, they will be able to receive them from us at cost that we receive them though, which is significantly below market value.
Are they, have you talked to the different, I mean, are they in agreement with that?
LCYLA was present at the Parks Board meeting. Their representative was the other night, and they're in agreement with this.
What are the locations?
There are, if you are on the very first page of the contract, section F is going to list off all the physical addresses, but it is going to include all the sports complexes, both pools, the golf courses on here, WM Brick Park.
Did the golf course already, did they sign a contract last year or something with somebody?
They have a distribution agreement with Pepsi, but that can be negated for this purpose.
I mean, is there, we gotta pay a fee to get out of that contract?
No, it's a
I remember they already had a contract with someone.
we had to sign a contract with Pepsi for them to deliver products to the golf course.
Okay. And how is this is kind of far-fetching and reaching, but it's a question. We have another water problem. And we got water from Red Cross or the state of Texas. It was great value. It was whatever they could bring us.
This is for
Does
this.
this affect that? If we run into that type of situation and we are distributing water that is
Not an emergency.
theirs.
This is not going to affect that either
I didn't
because
see anything in here that talked about, in case of emergency, you can get whatever you can get.
this is not going to affect that. This is more based towards what we are selling our customers.
We give that water away, that emergency
Yeah,
water.
Correct.
we give it away. And I just, it was very hard on, you can only do our stuff. But
Yeah.
it didn't say, in case of emergency, we understand you get free stuff from someone else.
And the county included, the county water.
It may not make a difference, but these two distributors have competed over several months to get to this point that we're at.
Yes, and so back to Councilwoman Keeney's point, this has been a Sportsman Solutions contract, and we've had Coca-Cola and Pepsi both on site, and they have competitively bid this back and forth multiple months. If you do look at point number 2 on the very first page, this negotiation started on April the 1st, and so I did forget to omit the original date on this beverage agreement of April 1st, 2026. That will just move to the day that we execute the contract.
So, just to make sure I understand the numbers here, annually we get $8,000 in cash, $4,000 in merchandise, whatever that may
Correct.
be, and then 60 cents per $4 purchase, but we pay 15 cents of that out to Sportsman Solutions.
Correct. Also, for every case of water that we purchase, so for example, the fire department, the police department, Public Works, they tend to order their drinks their water by the pallet for their guys out in the field, and so we would receive $5 back on every single one of those cases on that pallet as well.
Okay.
Even if the city is consuming that instead of reselling it.
Okay, so in that situation, that department would have to buy from Coca-Cola.
Correct, but it's going to be at a below market cost from what we're even purchasing from Walmart or Sam's Club right now, because we're receiving it essentially as a vendor to resell it at the market value. And those numbers are in one of the appendices in the contract as well.
On Exhibit A and B, this might be a dumb question, but when you're looking at the product list, what does this PET stand for?
I didn't hear, what'd you say?
PET on the exhibits, what does that stand for?
Pet?
What does it stand for, though?
That is an excellent question.
Go ahead, and another question.
Oh, it's a bottle, not a can.
Okay.
It's a plastic bottle.
Okay, so is that right that a bottle of water is $3 in the vending
And
machine?
it's going to be from vending.
From what?
From vending. We don't have to, if we're at the aquatics facility, we don't have to sell it at $3, but they service those vending machines. We don't service those. And so they will set the cost on those, and that's set out on that Exhibit A, year 1 through 2, 3 and 4, and year 5.
Man, so in 5 years, a bottle of water at the pool is $3.50.
Inflation, I mean.
That's brutal.
Spring water.
And also swimming pools, the Hannah Springs and Hancock are Hannah Springs is listed, but not Hancock.
The issue with one of the sliding glass door machines at Hancock is the concession stand is way too small. You can barely sit 2 people in there right now, and it's really cramped. And so they're going to put a vending machine on the external of the building there, but there will not be one of the sliding glass coolers there because there's physically not enough space.
And the hostess house would be the same inside?
Correct.
Everywhere they want to put a vending machine and there's not currently electricity, who's responsible?
We went around with the company, and everywhere that we want to put a vending machine, there is electricity, except for one location, and it's at the 580 Sports Complex where we want to put the vending machine, and there is a spot we can take electricity from, just like from a floodlight, like 2 feet above where the machine would be.
So it would only work when the lights are on?
No, it would work all the time.
Just curious.
It would work all the time.
But if it's city contract, and I know this has probably already been answered, and we have an event, and a lot of people donate things to the fire department. They donate Gatorade. They donate pallets. Is Coke going to have an issue with us drinking? You know, we're supposed to be under Coca-Cola, and a citizen donates.
The issue would become if we turned around and tried to sell that merchandise that was not Coca-Cola.
Okay.
If they donate, again, Gatorade instead of Powerade, that's no, it doesn't apply here. It's like it would be the same if I took Gatorade into my office and drank it instead of drinking Powerade at my office.
It's only Powerade now.
Body
It's
armor.
only Powerade.
And body armor.
Do we get to put this stuff on the ISD property, like the stadium?
The ISD is not in this, no sir.
And this wasn't like naming rights for 580 or anything like that. It's just them it's basically having the products around town. At all
Correct.
All these
They don't
locations.
want their name on anything other than the product they're selling
So
or
we can-
vending out of.
So that's still out there.
Correct. Just to kind of like put it out there, there has been some interest in the rodeo arena, but that's a little bit more down the line. You know, it has nothing to do with specifically this contract.
All right, do we get a motion?
I make a motion to approve the sponsorship agreement between the City of Lampasas, Coca-Cola for a base plus commission-based contract for 5 years.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
4.4, discussion and possible action for approving a resolution to amend the city's comprehensive fund balance policy.
Mayor and council, as reviewed during workshop, our fund balance policy was last updated in 2013 after adoption in 2011. We're recommending to modify the reserve balances from a percentage applied to the most recently complete audited fiscal year to a number of days applied to operating expenditures of the current fiscal year, modifying the order of spending resources from spending restricted fund balance first to using the least restricted categories of funds first, creating a monitoring and reporting requirement, and creating a replenishment timeframe.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
And we'll get a motion to adjourn into executive session. Oh, I'm sorry. I am so sorry. Come right on up, Miss Melissa.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Thank you for having me back. For the purposes of my time here this evening, I came to present my fiscal report, fiscal budget for 26-27, but I would like to go back just a second and talk about the last time I was here, which was for my Q3 report. I had mentioned to you that we would have all of our Lampasas promotions budget allocated, and when I come for my Q4 report in a couple months, I will have a proposal. It's actually not a proposal. It's actually the marketing campaign for the marketing funds that I agreed to use by the end of this fiscal year. So, which will be September 30th. So that is not in your packet this evening, but I would like to make a statement at the end of it and just read that to you, understanding where we're headed as far as tourism in Lampasas. So the key takeaway for my marketing campaign that will actually go on through 2027, however it started back in August, is tourism marketing isn't about convincing people to visit Lampasas. It's about making sure Lampasas can be considered when travelers are deciding where to go. By strategically investing hot funds into a long-term digital tourism initiative, Visit Lampasas is building sustainable marketing assets that will promote the community, support local businesses, strengthen tourism, and contribute to economic growth for years to come. One investment creates marketing content that continue promoting Lampasas for years. That can continue promoting Lampasas for years. I state that because it has been put upon me to actually expand our digital marketing presence through the Lampasas promotions line item. And I do truly believe that we are doing that. We are working very closely with the city, very closely with the EDC. I was at the EDC meeting last week, and it came up that we need to do a better job at marketing Lampasas as far as holiday promotions. Hunting is a given, spring hoe is kind of a given. We are looking at doing a little bit more marketing of our venues and actually events that bring in different bridal events and family reunions and things of that nature. We have several different venues that are popping up all around the city and the county that would bring in sales tax for retail and dining, and then also for lodging, of course, the hotel motel tax. So stay tuned. We've got a lot coming up. I'm working with a lot of different resources to ensure that we are actually expanding our footprint properly. With this new marketing campaign, we actually are on several different platforms, including Google, Google Maps, Apple Maps, Bing Maps, Yelp, TripAdvisor, and additional online directories and tourism platforms, including YouTube. We have created 3 48-second commercials, and then also 1 2.5-minute commercial, and those are already running. And we will be rebranding to do a Visit Lampasas brand instead of the Lampasas County Chamber of Commerce and Visitor Center brand. So now going back to my budget, if you will notice on there, my budget is actually down $1722 for the year, or for this coming year. That is in a couple of different areas, but I will open the floor up to any questions based on the evaluation that I provided for this budget.
It's tough that you don't have a breakdown about this marketing and promotional expenses and more information about it. A lot of the platforms you just talked about, like search engines and whatnot, we're already on there.
No, we're not.
How?
We're not, because we have not tied into doing search engine optimization. We have not allowed our Visit Lampasas brand to be marketed on all of those platforms. And
what do you mean you haven't allowed? We've allocated the money for it.
We haven't had the content. I apologize. We haven't had the content created. Now we do have the content with those videos to be able to get that search engine optimization on all those different platforms.
You don't need 2 videos to get SEO movement. I mean, you're saying you couldn't get any SEO movement because you didn't have 2 videos?
No, I mean, you have to purchase with marketing companies
I understand.
to get
I've been
SEO.
marketing for a business for a number of years now. I just don't know why we're just now talking about this in 2026. Like, there's not a breakdown of how money's being spent for tourism, marketing, and promotional expenses. And your first statement and second statement were the same thing.
So I do have a breakdown. It's written down. I've got printed maps. I've got brochures. I've got tourtexas.com. I've got digital newspaper ads. I've got this AMP marketing campaign that we're doing, visitors guides, YouTube, YouTube placement.
How much was spent on 101 fun things to do? Texas highways, Texas events, or Hill Country Trail?
Well, it depends. I mean, sometimes we do those, sometimes we don't. Those are
Which ones were done this
quarterly
past year?
marketing. I'm sorry?
Which ones were done this past year?
This past year, we've done visitors guides in other multiple communities. We've done.
So none of those 4.
Hold on, let me get to the ones that you asked about. Okay, the 101 fun things. The Texas highways, we've done that. The Hill Country Trail, we've done that.
What was in those and how much was that? Do you know?
They're just ads. So they're just tourism ads that we do. It's a placement of a tourism ad. It's usually a quarter-page ad.
Monthly, or was it in one issue? Or?
Most of them are quarterly.
Quarterly?
So some of them are monthly. They're extremely expensive. Print is extremely expensive.
How
That's
expensive?
why we've done. I mean, you're talking thousands of dollars.
It's just
For one little ad, for almost sometimes just a business card size ad. In
so
these
is it a
publications
business-
that don't have much distribution.
So is it business card or half a page or quarter page? Because you're saying
It
multiple.
depends on
things.
what you buy.
I don't know what you buy because I'm just looking at what
And
you're asking.
I've not had to provide that. I can go back and I can provide that.
I mean, I'm not trying to be mean or
No,
anything. It's
that's
just
fine.
if you're
I
asking
can
for
show you the breakdown. Yeah. I can show you what we've spent for this past year.
It's just tough when you start out with, I know I don't have this now, but this is what I'm asking for my budget for next year. But I'm going to get back to you on what we're doing.
No, I've started it, but it'll be, the AMP agreement will be paid out before the end of this fiscal year to use up that Lampasas promotions budget that you asked me to use. But it will go in, it's an annual contract, so that will go into the new year.
I mean, you're saying like that I've asked you to use or we've asked you to use. You asked for the money as part of your budget, so it's
Yeah.
of course we're asking you to use it for that.
Correct.
Because if not, then we don't need to budget that.
Sure, understand.
And again, I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just trying to.
And I give the breakdown, I give the receipts for what I've spent in my quarterly reports, and those come every quarter. So those reimbursements and those receipts are in those packets.
Okay.
They're not in this budget packet, but they can be.
I
in the
need to go
budget.
back and look at all 4 of those, and I just will not make a decision today about your budget.
Got it.
Well, I move to approve the Lampasas Chamber Visitors Center budget for 2016.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Now we can get a motion to move into executive session.
So moved.
Second. You want to read that, Kaylee? That's a lot of words.
The City Council of the City of Lampasas, Texas will meet in closed executive session pursuant to the Texas Government Code, Chapter 551, as follows. Section 551.074, Personnel Matters, to discuss city manager and city attorney. Section 551.087, Economic Development, to discuss project heavy load. Section 551.086, relating to the authority of public power utility governing bodies to deliberate regarding competitive matters. Section 551.072, deliberation regarding real property, to discuss land acquisition. We can adjourn.
All right, we'll adjourn into executive session. Alrighty, back to our regular session. Got a item. Motion coming out of executive session.
Motion to authorize staff to negotiate the purchase of land for the entry point improvement project of 580 East and 190 East.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.